please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi, welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Well, this morning the Dow futures are indicating a sharp fall of almost about 300 odd points as Wall Street friendly Gary Cohen has resigned. But for our own markets, the SGX Nifty has erased some of its losses. So now it's absolutely flat. Let's see how things go. We're very close to the 200-day moving average. So let's see if we break that. Our research team is here to give you the list of top 10 stocks to watch for the day. So let's start off very quickly. Anuj, what are you looking at today?
So, Sonia, two stocks. Before that, I just want to make a point, since you asked Arvind the point on, whether this is a bull market correction or is this, start of a bear market. I think if you break 200-day moving average over the next few days, and if we see a fall below 10,000, you'll hear a lot more people talk about, is this a bear market? I think that would be an indication that we are actually closer to the bottom. So as of now, this is a bull market correction and it remains like that. But bull market corrections are like that. They make you believe that, are you headed towards some kind of a cyclical bear market? If
and
not,
it's not even a 10% correction.
Exactly, it's not even 10%.
Right? Yeah.
So no, but it will happen. Once you break 10,000, if you do, you will hear, a lot of people say that. Yeah. So that I think would be the classical counter trend indication. But on the stocks to watch, Zee Entertainment, it's a stock which has defended its 200-day moving average. It's seen buying from lows. Volumes are high, delivery volumes, so that's something to watch out for. And a stock which has repeatedly come on my radar, and it's a bear's delight, PFC. Just see the chart of that stock. It's a, you can superimpose the image of Ashok Leyland, reverse it on, and put it on PFC. It just keeps making new lows in. Huge delivery selling, and just like for Ashok Leyland, the 52-week low was the previous year's 52-week high. In this case, it's absolute reverse for PFC. So just in a bear market and consistently seeing delivery-based selling.
Okay, we're also going to talk about a lot of the PSU banking names. Lata, you're watching out for them?
Well, there's a fresh note from Credit Suisse pointing out that the bond yields are going to result in mark-to-market losses of 20,000 crores. Now, I don't see this as new news. I think you can calculate bond losses in a jiffy. But the market is in such a nasty mood, and a report from an extremely respected brokerage could, further instill some selling in these stocks. And therefore, yeah, expect to put the PSU banks again on your radar. They've fallen even below that recapitalization day as an index. At an index level, they've fallen yesterday below the recap day levels. So is there still more losses to come? We'll have to wait and see. But any buying at lower levels is ruled out. Perhaps there will be an abatement of selling at best.
Okay, so we'll keep our eye out on the PSU banks. But you know what? Many companies came in with fresh order wins overnight. So Anisha joins in now to give us a list of all of that. Anisha, over to you.
Well, yes, Sonia, I'm the harbinger of good news in an otherwise somber market because a lot of companies have been winning order. Case in point being TCS, wherein Virgin Atlantic Airlines has extended the partnership by around 5 years. Other than that, a lot of infrastructure companies are winning road orders, and that is expected to become the order of the day for the coming month or so, because remember, NHI has bundled up a lot of awards for this month itself, and that is what is expected to come by. Today, the beneficiaries are Dilip Buildcon and Sadbhav Infrastructure, which have won orders or have been declared lowest bidder in orders worth around 900 crores each. Ashoka Buildcon has bagged around 3 orders, wherein he has been declared the lowest bidder for order around 2,000 odd crores, so that should be in the green as well. But remember, a large part of this is already priced in because this huge inflow of orders was already expected and priced in by the market. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Anisha. Lata, there's a Morgan Stanley report on NBFCs, which is quite interesting.
Yep. Again, this, according to me, is getting priced in for the past several months. We know that NBFCs will not be the most loved stocks. Morgan Stanley starts its note. The first sentence they say is, higher rates are here to stay. And although they like NBFCs even now structurally, they expect them to get derated as time goes by because there will be an asset liability mismatch probably in several of them, especially in housing finance companies. Particularly, they say they like M&M Finance, Shriram Transport and Edelweiss. They have overweight ratings in these stocks, but they have cut Indiabulls and AB Capital to underweight from equal weight. So on those, they're particularly... But across the board, even for stocks where they like, they have cut the price targets by, some 2 to 10%, depending on the nature of the stock. All those will run for you, but just keep NBFCs on your radar. There could still be some falls.
Okay. Talking about NBFCs and talking about the financial space, Canfin Homes, Abhishek has been tracking that impending deal very closely. Abhishek, what more?
Well, Sonia, last evening, Canfin Home actually announced that they have met the officials of Baring Private Equity. This is the second round of meeting that Baring Private Equity has done. The first round of meeting being done in Jan 2018. The meeting was arranged by Canara Bank, and Baring Private Equity met the management of Canfin Homes in order to understand the model, operations and processes that is followed at Canfin Homes. Now, we were the first one to report that Canara Bank is looking to monetize its non-core assets, and one of them being their stake in Canfin Homes. And we were also the first one to alert that, Baring Private Equity has placed interest in terms of non-commercial bid in Canara Bank stake sale of Canfin Homes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Abhishek. Sonia, United Spirits saw a sharp fall yesterday.
Well, yes, it did. This is very important because Morgan Stanley has come out with a note. First, they've cut the target price quite a bit. They've cut it from 4,000 to 3,250. Now, we have the GST Council meeting that takes place on the 10th of March. And once again, GST has emerged as a big risk for the industry as a whole. Now, I'll tell you why. ENA, which is extra neutral alcohol, a key raw material used to manufacture alcohol, that could be taxed. There could be a GST of 18% on ENA. The market expectation was that ENA will be exempt from GST, but now there's ambiguity on the tax jurisdiction for ENA. So Morgan Stanley says in the event of an 18% GST for ENA versus the current state levy of 7 to 8%, there could be a 15% impact on United Spirits earnings. This is if United Spirits doesn't manage to pass it on. So this is just speculation. For the market expectation is ENA will be exempt from GST, but if GST comes through on extra neutral alcohol, then there could be a big hit.
Oh yes, and in fact, United Spirits is now down exactly 25% from its highs. The previous quarter, after the numbers, the stock got re-rated to 4,000. After last quarter, we saw the de-rating, so 25% lower from the highs for United Spirits. But Mangalam, what about other stocks in news?
I have a whole host, Anuj. So I'll start with Ultratech Cement. See some green on that. Two reasons. First is the FPI limit, which is raised from 30% to 40%. Not a big change because at current levels, also the FIs hold about 22% stake in the company. So incremental headroom there. But the bigger news is the reports that are there in the papers that Ultratech has taken the fight for Binani to the NCLT. That gives them an outside chance of going ahead and getting the Binani assets, which analysts believe is a good asset. So that would be a positive for Ultratech. On the other hand, watching out for Amtech Autos, see green there as well because Liberty House emerges as the top bidder for the company. Remember the company telling us, Liberty House that is, on February 26th itself, that they're looking at ABG Shipyard and Amtech along with Bhushan Power. So that stock should be in focus. Kaveri Seeds, see a bit of red there because the government is likely to slash prices on BT cotton to about 740 for a 450 gram packet, which compares with around 800 rupees. Remember, this accounts for about 66% of the company's revenue, though we haven't independently verified this news. Power Grid, see some green there because it has emerged as the lowest bidder for one transmission system of REC. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And finally, Sharon Bio, stock that we don't really talk about very often, but the Central Pollution Control Board has ordered temporary suspension of operations at its API facility. A bit of red there.
Okay, Mangalam, thanks a lot for that. Well, moving on, the Adani Group has hit back at allegations made by Subramaniam Swamy. In a video statement, the company's executive director, Amit Desai, has not named Swamy, but he went on to clarify that PSU banks only contribute to about 50% of the group's debt. He also went on to say that the group regularly services its debt. Desai also underlined that Adanis have a good credit rating, due to which they have even raised money overseas. Listen in to what they had to say.
Given our rating track record, we can and do access different sources of debt, ranging from international bonds, ECB loans, and domestic bonds, besides availing loans from private sector as well as public sector banks in India. Group's dependence on PSU Bank for long-term borrowings is less than 50% at about Rs 34,000 crores and is regularly serviced. Besides, if we look at some key financial indicators, they resonate our strength.
Okay, well, on that note, let's do a quick recap of our top stocks now. Expected to gain are names like Zee Entertainment, TCS, Dilip Buildcon, Ashoka Buildcon, Sadbhav Infra, Canfin Homes, Ultratech Cement, Amtech Auto and Power Grid. While stocks that are expected to be under pressure are SBI, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, the Nifty PSU Bank Index, PFC, Indiabulls Housing, AB Capital, LIC Housing, United Spirits, Kaveri Seeds and Sharon Bio. We take a quick break. On the other side of the break, our technical experts Ashwini Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani and Mitesh Thakkar will join in.
Well, the SGX Nifty is indicating that we'll have a flat start. Flat actually could be good for the bulls because gap ups these days are really invitation for the bears. So let's see how things move from here. Ashwini Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani and Mitesh Thakkar now join us. Good morning, gentlemen. Ashwini, what's the trade for you today on the Nifty and on the Bank Nifty?
Well, good morning. What was noticeable yesterday is that there is something extra which is causing selling in our market. And, if all global markets are up and we are crashing, it's possible, it's this LTCG, etc., which is causing this extra pain. So, I don't think betting on short covering rallies, etc., from random levels just because global cues are positive, that's a good strategy. So basically, if we get back towards 10,265 to 70 on the upside, you look for selling, and you would only try to buy in case we hit say 10,150 thereabouts, which is the 200-day moving average. The momentum has increased on the downside, and I think this could remain the case throughout this month of March. So, support resistance in this kind of market is now irrelevant beyond a point, because the selling is so intense that it will just scream through whatever supports you have. So start looking for resistances more than support, because supports will not hold. Even strong supports will get broken. So I would think that we will underperform even more from here, and for the day, whatever 20-30 point upside if we do get, that would be a good time to rebuild short positions. Yesterday was fairly vertical, so maybe some amount of choppiness may happen before the selling starts again.
Okay, but in no part of the market you find bargain buying coming in?
See, the problem with markets is that when they are falling, the bargain buyers move to the side. It's very easy to advise others to buy bargains while you don't buy them yourself. It's clear that even in large stocks, one big segment of the market is out to sell, and they have been buying since Nifty was 5,000. So unless they are done selling, I don't think domestic guys, etc., are going to step up to the plate. So my sense is that selling has to stop. The market has to show us that there is no further downside before you get into bargain buying, etc., because prices at 9,800 will be very different from what they are today.
Okay. Sudarshan Sukhani and Mitesh Thakkar are also with us. Gentlemen, morning. Sudarshan, how do you approach this market now? We're very close to the 200-day moving average. Do you think it's just a matter of time before that gets broken?
Good morning. Well, Sonia, we have been short in this market from 10,850 downwards. Every rally, every breakdown, the suggestion has been to buy put options at different strike levels as the market was going down and be on the short side of the market. So clearly viewers who have been listening to this program have been very well rewarded. Now the last 200 points of this decline may be left. Of course, no one knows that. But this is the last leg and there could be a lot of volatility. It need not be as simple as the decline we have seen. So my suggestion is most traders should be short in this market. I would suggest today, slowly and steadily, you close your short positions and let the volatility come in, let there be choppiness. We'll find another trade later on, probably on the short side. So the suggestion today is to exit your short positions and step aside.
Okay, I think we are losing Sudarshan's video. We'll come back to you, Sudarshan, in a bit. Mitesh, good morning. You have been negative on the market for some time now. Are you extending that trade, or do you recommend taking profit on short trade?
Good morning, Anuj. I think, what we've seen yesterday was very important. 10,300, which in the last couple of weeks had held on very nicely, was broken. So people who are trading on the positional side and the short, I think, have now got a reference point. So as long as that level is not being captured again, I think, that can be used as a trailing stop loss. So I would possibly suggest people to trail the stop loss down to about 10,335, 340 level, just 15-20 points above this 10,320 mark. Having said that, I think typically, when supports break, if there's a pullback, I think that will be fresh shorting opportunity today. So I think Ashwini highlighted 10,270, 280 levels. I think that will be excellent if you can get it during the day sometime to add on to your or to initiate fresh short positions. And I think on the downside, my target would be closer to about 10,130, which is the 200 average. And then we'll take it from there.
Well, I still want to persist with the same question, Mitesh, that I asked Ashwini, but train it only to public sector banks. Now, at an index level, they have breached below the level from where they rose on that recap day. When that vertical rally came in. Since all those have been wiped out, even at such points, you don't expect supports to emerge?
See, I think, Lata, what should have happened is that in case the markets had to reverse or give some kind of support, I think the earlier low, at least the pre-recap low should have held on. I think breaking that, I think, after a positive news flow or fund flow, I think suggests that there should typically be more weakness. It may not happen immediately because we are seeing a lot of stocks now closer to oversold levels. But I think eventually the direction and the force on the medium-term charts is clearly turned on the downside. So I would expect much lower levels in the next coming 6 to 7 to 8 weeks.
Okay,
Sudarshan is back.
Okay, Sudarshan is back with us. Sudarshan, sorry, you were making that point before, we lost your video.
Well, yes, I was saying that we have been short at different levels. At this point, it is wise to close your short positions and bank your profits. Now, the last 200, 300 points of this decline could be choppy and may not be as rewarding as the first 500 points have been. So for today, the suggestion is to close your positions, close your short positions and step aside.
And any specifically in the, say, the PSU banks or something, the ones that have fallen the most?
Oh no, I would not go for PSU banks. Lata, we may actually enter short positions again in the next few days. So this is not for buying, it's just risk management.
Okay. What about individual stocks? Let's start off with that. Sudarshan, what would you be looking to buy or sell today?
Well, it's primarily to look at mid caps to go in short. One of the large caps is Bharti Airtel, where the stock is breaking support levels consistently. That's a short sell. Company Godfrey Phillips, which is now in the F&O segment, is making lower highs, lower lows. That's a short. And Hind Petro, both the refinery companies are going down day after day. Not sure why, but whatever it is, that's a short sell. There are two buying opportunities. It is possible that the markets may surprise us on the upside intraday. One is IGL, where a buy is now suggested, and the second is my favorite, Sun TV.
Okay, let's discuss a couple of more stocks. Sun TV, by the way, is also Lata's favorite. Not the stock, but the channel that is. Ashwini, what's on your buy and sell list?
See, with the caveat that you have to sell on a bit of a up move, I think Union Bank is a sell with a stop of 100, target of 88. BOI is on its way to becoming 2 digits, so that is a sell with a stop of 106, target of 94. Canara Bank is a sell with a stop of 272, target of 258. ICICI is a sell with a stop of 300, target of 285. And Biocon is a buy with a stop of 625, target of 650.
Okay. Thanks for that. Okay. Incidentally, Sun TV is the reason why I like Office very much. Okay. Well, Mitesh, that's what I'm saying.
There's the answer.
That was my answer. Because of Sun TV, I like my office very much. I like my office space. Okay. Mitesh, what are the stocks you would be trading today?
Yeah, so more on the sell side, I have a conditional sell on CESC, which is trading near support levels of 975, but the chart structure is weak. So if it breaks, so keep a trigger of 973. Sell below that with a stop at 988 for targets of 940. Hdfc Bank appears to be getting mildly corrective. It's broken the pivot support of 1850. So short with a very tight stop at 1857. Look for declines to about 1820. Petronet has broken the 200 average. I would suggest selling with a stop at 239.5 for targets of 221. Wokhart, the intraday charts have given a sell signal. That's a sell with a stop at 802 for targets of 740. And one buy call, that's on Motherson Sumi, but that's slightly at lower levels. 300, 305 is a very good support zone. So just in that range, if you get a buying opportunity, take a long trade with a stop at 297.5 for targets of 320.
Well, we are preparing for the pre-opening. We still have about 10-12 minutes. And the SGX Nifty is indicating not all that bad a start, just a mild 8-point cut. But yeah, it's not been a very good guide to how things will happen. Mr. SP Tulsian joins us now. Good morning, Mr. Tulsian. Well, first up, we have seen a lot of selling. Where are the bargains? Can we start with the construction stocks? There are a lot of orders that we hear for Dilip Buildcon, Ashoka Buildcon, IRB Infra. In this space, is this the place where you would be looking for bargains?
See, the typical behavior of this space or maybe this sector is that, you have about 50-60 stocks available in this space. The names which you have said maybe of maybe NCC or Delhi Buildcon, if you take a call on them, they are seen to be quite expensive. I agree that the financial performance has been quite good and the order inflow has been quite good, but order inflow may not be the only criteria, because in the past, about 8-10 years back, those used to be the parameter or the basis on which the buy call used to be given. And in fact, all have faltered on execution, and probably that could be the reason I'm not taking purely a call on any stock merely on winning the order book. But yes, if you want to go ahead and take a call on this, I think it may not be on your top list of the sectors in which you should make stakes, but in which you should make investments. But yes, if you want to, you can have 10% of your portfolio allocations in the turnaround scripts kind of things, where you see the financial position or maybe the execution capabilities in improving and it can get translated into the better working, where not much of the BOT assets are held by the company, not with much stress balance sheet.
Okay. Mr. Sen, good morning. Your thoughts on the Adani Group? Yesterday we saw that tweet from Subramaniam Swamy, and of course the stocks didn't react in the initial hours, but in the last hour there was quite a bit of sell-off, of course in line with market as well.
See, if you take a call on, there are 4 listed companies of Adani Group. First, take the call on Adani Port. I'm purely going on the financial fundamentals and all that. If you see the market cap of closure to about 85,000 crore, in which promoters are holding about 67-68%, the company is making a PAT of closure to about 4,000 crore on an annual basis. I'm not taking the cash profit. And I don't think that the debt is more than about 17,000 crore in Adani Port. I'm specifically referring to. So even if you take the promoter stake of 56,000, having their share of 66%. Come on, other 3 companies, Adani Transmission, Adani Enterprises and Adani Power. The combined market cap, I think, of all 3 companies are closer to about 55 to 60,000 crore. Maybe Adani Enterprise having 20,000 crore, Adani Transmission 22,000 crore and Adani Power at about 12-13,000 crore. I have always been taking a negative call on Adani Power for the simple reason that if you take the group, the entire, amongst all these 4 companies, the highest debt is in Adani Power, for the simple reason that their 4,800 megawatt project, which was based on the imported coal, is struggling, and about 20,000 crore or maybe 22,000 crore of the loan, or is seen a loan appearing in the balance sheet of Adani Power. So the weak spot for the company is in Adani Power. If you take a call again on Adani Transmission, having gone for acquisition of 18,000 crore of the R Infra Mumbai business along with 500 megawatt power generation capacity, you are bound to see the balance sheet getting stretched. But I don't think that the things are seen to be murkier or seen to be so bad for Adani Port or Adani Transmission. Now, if you come on Adani Enterprises, that is totally a different ball game on the Carmichael Road, Carmichael projects in Australia, where they are talking of $13-15 billion projects, and if that comes in, that will be separately, the fresh debt needs to get availed. So if you take the present scenario with a debt exposure of closer to about maybe 65-70,000 crore, I don't think that you have such an alarming situation, when as long as you have the generating the profit making assets under your fold, which I have said that Adani Port is alone giving them a debt, giving them a PAT of closer to about 4,000 crore, and that is enough. Even if I take, I'm not saying that the things are not seen bad in Adani Power, on which I have always kept my reservations. I have always said that I will remain away, but I don't think that there is any kind of issue seen in case of other 3 companies, because Adani Enterprises, as of now, I'm finding it as a non-starter, merely a trading company, not playing much on the Australian project. But Adani Transmission and Adani Ports, are definitely seen to be pricey and worthy assets, and I don't think that any concerns of the debt appearing in the books of these two companies, which may not be more than 20 to 24,000 crore put together of both the companies.
Okay, so Adani Transmission and Adani Ports are the stocks to watch out for on the upside, or at least don't have so much of a problem. Mr. Tulsian, morning. I wanted your thoughts also on United Spirits. The GST Council will be meeting on the 10th of March, and there's a possibility of taxation on ENA. Do you think that could have big negative ramifications on United Spirits if it comes through?
See, I don't understand the meaning of taking this one call alone. Even if I presume that GST gets levied, again people are talking of 18%. You already have an existing tax of about 8%, and if you say that the differential of 10% will bring down my margin by about 15%, this is again a bizarre analysis. Because if you take an analysis, take a quarterly turnover of about maybe 7,500 crore. For sake of simplicity, I'm taking on United Spirit. You have 5,000 crore as excise duty, so your net sales is about 2,500 crore. Of that, about 1,100 crore is the raw material cost. That means of your net sales, excluding excise duty, you have 40% as the raw material cost. And even if I have a differential, what you call burden of GST on account of my ENA, though raw material is not comprising only of the ENA, you have so many other items. ENA may be having a component of maybe about 50% of that 40% raw material. So even if you take the effective 20% increase of 10%, that should bring down the margin by 2%. But sometimes you try to justify such a big fall. In fact, when share moved in the month of January, in fact, at that time also I've said that because of the huge fall seen in the molasses prices then, fell by about 80%. These all brewery stocks are seen to be the near-term beneficiary, and there is no justification. At that time, in fact, I've seen so many buy calls having initiated on United Spirit, excellent buy, screaming buy, Diageo will come into the strong grip of the company, combination of the global brands and all sort of things. So I don't think that these kind of extreme behavior is justified. I don't subscribe to this view at all of ENA differential GST of 10%. Even if it is coming in, that should not bring down the margin by more than 2.5%. So I have never been comfortable on United Spirits at a level of about 3,600, though it went to a level of 4,000. It should settle down anywhere between 2,600 to 3,000. Now, having corrected to a level of 3,000, I don't think that there is much downside. It may not fall by more than couple of hundred rupees. Maybe it should settle anywhere between 26 to 2,800 crore, and I don't see much upside from there on.
Okay. Mr. Tulsian, what about Balrampur Chini? It's now down 45% from its peak.
See, again, the problem is the excess production, and in fact, I've said yesterday also that Maharashtra crushing will stop by end of March, while the UP will stop crushing surely by first week of May. They will continue to crush up to end of April, and in fact, ISMA has not revised the production estimates, but I have been saying this for last couple of weeks that this year the production is estimated to be at about 28 million ton, which was earlier estimated at 25 million ton by ISMA, and in fact, two states will be contributing. Again, both the states, that is Maharashtra and UP, will be surpassing 10 million ton production. In fact, Maharashtra was expecting a production of 7.2 million ton at the start of the season. I won't be surprised to see them, ending the season with a production of closer to about 10 million ton, maybe plus minus 5 lakh ton, 9.5 to 10.2. So my point is that once the crushing stops at Maharashtra, probably prices will stop falling further, because there has been a lot of pressure of the sugarcane payment by the Maharashtra mills. They are largely in the cooperative and they can't, keep the stock holding at their end. So once that comes to an end, when the crushing stops in the month of May and in the end of month of March in Maharashtra, and the severe summer seen this year, which will last maybe 1 month extra because of the extra month of the Hindu calendar also. So probably that will see the higher sugar consumption also in this summer season. Probably prices should settle at around 31.50 or 31 as a base for UP mills, and that should be seen as a respite. But I think for next 1 month you can't just take any upward movement or any positive call on the sugar stocks because of the fear of the production seen rising to about 28 million.